Hello friends, welcome to Creator King. Today, I bring you a new way to cook your food. Yes, it's another homemade stove, but at least this one has a platform and it works in a very unconventional way. Let's start by making a couple of holes in the cap with a soldering iron. Remove the dangerous needles from 2 syringes and insert them through the holes in the cap. To make sure these needles do not come out of place, secure them with hot glue. In case that isn't enough, and as a precaution to avoid future gas leaks, apply a bit of super glue on the opposite side. Make another hole in the side of the other bottle cap with a soldering iron at high temperatures. Buy a few feet of clear tubing and cut a piece with the nearest scissors. Apply hot glue over the hole we've created in the second cap to install the first supply hose. Reinforce the inside with a little instant glue. Take the aluminum foil roll that you used to wrap your leftover food with and cut a piece. Begin to fold it like an origami exercise until you get a shapeless ball. Place it in the leftover space in the cap connected to the hose. Apply instant glue to the edge and screw the cap to fuse the 2 parts together. We will also seal the joint between the pieces. We have to be very careful with these kinds of experiments. Yep, sticks! Popsicle sticks! They're never missing in our inventions. Place 2 of the popsicle sticks on the table at a distance similar to what you see on the screen and apply a drop of super glue on each end to attach 2 more sticks together, forming a square. Hot glue the base of a wooden rod to a corner of the square. Repeat the process 3 more times. So, let's talk for a moment. Have any of you here already seen the new Disney movie Encanto? What did you think? I can't get the song of Bruno out of my head. No! Set aside the structure we just built to create the second popsicle stick square, the same way you did at the beginning. Once that's finished, apply a few drops of hot glue on each of the wooden supports to join this second structure, forming the platform of our stove. Get a bottle cap from a soda that you had during the day or that you can find in the trash and multiply it by 4. Apply glue to the top of each cap and glue them to the structure as you can see on the screen. Apply a dab of super glue in the center of the bottom popsicle stick so you can add an extra one to give it more support and to act as a base for the lighter. After measuring the height at which our burning flame should be, get a thick stick and replicate the measurement, which in this case is 8 centimeters. With the handsaw, cut off the excess and then hot glue it right in the center of the structure. We will also put some glue on the first piece we created at the beginning of this invention and stick it on top of the wooden stick. We already have the shell of our stove ready. Very nice and all, but without a gas supply system, it's useless. So let's get down to business. Set aside the main structure and get a couple of medicine syringes. Remove the support to get the black rubber piece that they have at the end. We'll have to create a good-sized hole in these with the help of a soldering iron that's as hot as the deepest corner of the underworld. Sometimes I get dramatic. Maybe I should have studied theater. One of the holes have been ruthlessly punctured. Take another stick and apply hot glue to the middle of the front rods. Attach the wooden stick where the syringes will be installed, which will function as containers and mechanical fuel supplies. Glue the first syringe a few centimeters away from the rod and repeat the step with the second syringe. Hold them while you apply pressure for a moment so that they finish drying and look again for the roll of transparent tubing. Cut a small piece to connect to the nozzle of the first syringe. Creator King Trivia. Whoever answers correctly will win the satisfaction of having played. Who did I take this engine from? Answer A, my brother. Answer B, your mom. Answer C, my fish. Leave your answer in the comments. After gluing and connecting the motor, take another piece of the tube and insert one end into a pierced black rubber piece. Seal the joint at the end with hot glue. The fuel that our homemade lighter stove will use will be nothing more and nothing less than lighter fluid. Open the container and fill the first syringe up to the 4 milliliter line. Once it's filled, close the container again and insert the black rubber piece that has the hose installed approximately 1 centimeter into the syringe. Connect the other end of the tube to the liquid outlet of the other syringe. Please ignore all of my personal items while I fill a glass of water. With another syringe, identical to the ones we glued down, take some water and empty it into the second syringe of the hydraulic system. Insert the end of the hose, which is attached to the stove's pin, through the second rubber piece that we drilled and seal it with hot glue, in the same way we did with the first one. Then insert it into the syringe with water. Now, we'll only need 2 more things before we can cook some delicious instant soup. First, we'll need to unify the flame of our stove, and for that, we'll make use of some aluminum. Don't worry, your mom won't even realize that you took it. Squeeze the foil tightly around the pencil so that it makes the tubular shape we need, and make a few small cuts around one end to compress the area a bit more. Place the aluminum tube, inserting both needles at the same time, and do a test run before starting the electrical circuit. There's something about fire that hypnotizes you. After my pyromaniac commentary of the day, let's start with our electrical circuit. Connect the black wire from the snap to one of the pins on the switch. Then connect the other to a loose wire that you can get. We will magically make the remaining connections to the motor and install the battery. That was the last step, and now we can light our burning flame, which we will cook dishes worthy of the show Master Chef itself. Look at that beautiful pumping system at work. I wonder if it's time to put my ramen in. Hey, I can't see. The following invention has nothing to do with relaxing massages. In fact, quite the opposite. It hurts. Making these inventions is taking a toll on me. When you've had enough of the massage, we'll take the saw and slice off all the massaging arms so that we can cover the entire ball with pointy screws using hot glue. We will need hundreds of thousands of screws and a lot of patience to fill the whole ball. So, to make our work more pleasant, let's talk for a while. Since a few minutes ago we mentioned the new Disney movie Encanto, where almost the whole family has powers. I would like to know which of the powers shown in the movie would you choose? I, for example, would choose Peppa, the one who controls the weather with her emotions. I could do so many things. But it wouldn't be too bad to have Bruno's powers either, to know what the future holds. Not to mention that his song is one of the catchiest I've ever heard. Once you've filled half the ball with screws, open a slot with the help of a mini circular saw to attach a chain like the one you see on the screen. Cut the chain depending on the length you need and get your favorite super glue to fill the groove we made in the ball. Insert one of the links into the groove with glue and fill it with silicone. Looks like those dangerous obstacles in video games. Take a wooden bar that you can remove from one of your old pieces of furniture, and with a ruler, measure approximately 24 centimeters and mark it with a pencil. Proceed to cut the marked line with our powerful saw, then replicate the exact size with the help of the first piece. With our 2 wooden sticks ready, the next step will be to get a giant popsicle stick. Can you imagine how big that ice cream must have been? After cutting off the ends, apply hot glue on the base of one of the wooden bars and attach the popsicle stick. Now we'll have to buy some rope or take it from your brother's donkey. We'll leave this for later. Take a small, thin popsicle stick and mark the points that intersect with the structure. Cut off what we don't need with a sharp pair of pliers or scissors. Replicate the full size on another popsicle stick with the same width to obtain another identical piece. Apply instant glue to the ends of these small pieces and glue them down. They'll serve as a support and part of the design at the corners. We'll also take a couple of pieces of cardboard and measure 5 centimeters on each side. Mark 2 completely straight lines to create a square, which will also be cut. Replicate this first square on another piece of cardboard. They will be the basis of our invention. One quick question. Who here is a fan of SpongeBob? I know a lot of the dialogues. I just want to know if you'll understand my future references. Apply hot glue to the bottom of our structure and attach the cardboard pieces, allowing it to stand more easily. Wrap the rope from a few moments ago several centimeters around the pillars, with the sole purpose of making it look more elaborate. It looks absolutely beautiful. It even resembles the ones they had in the medieval era, where they harshly punished anyone who opposed the law. Get another pair of popsicle sticks to glue under the 2 pieces of cardboard to give it even more stability. They will also be used to hold a pair of heavy weights. How redundant! Place hot glue on the end of the chain that holds the spiky ball and stick it to the top of the structure. Put 2 gigantic weights on top of the popsicle sticks that we glued a few moments ago, placing one in front and one in the back. Cut diagonally across the ends of 2 other thinner popsicle sticks and place them on the structure to calculate how much we need to cut off the other end. Hot glue the 2 pieces to the free side of each beam for maximum stability. Once both of them have been glued in place, the swing of the dangerous spiky ball will not be able to pull the structure down. Just look at the beautiful pendulum movement. Cut a piece of white rope and hot glue it to the pointy ball on the part that doesn't have any screws embedded. When you are sure that it's glued tight, we'll take one last pair of popsicle sticks and turn them into one. Once the glue is dry, install it at the very top of the structure, the way I show you, with hot glue. I hope you have a lot at home. Now we need to prepare the trap. First, we need to put the ball with spikes in its initial position using this wooden rectangle. Attach a couple of nuts, gluing them side by side. Mark a line on the string attached to the ball at the height you want it to be. Tie a cowboy knot right here where the line is and get rid of the excess. Scorch the end of the rope you just cut and tie another piece to a nail. Cut off the excess string like in the previous step and repeat it with a lighter. This part that you see here will be attached to the piece of wood that we glued the nuts to. Insert the nail in the first nut and then through the cowboy knot before putting it through the last nut. This way, when it is released, it will unleash the dangerous trap, impaling our prey in one blow. Glue the piece of wood to the protruding end of the extension so that it points in the direction you want the ball to go. For the demonstration, I will use an innocent orange balloon that will play the role of our prey. I'll call you Indiana Jones. Let's place some stinky cheese on the opposite end of the string where the nail is before leaving the trap in position. Put everything back into place using the sequence that I have showed you a few seconds ago. Be patient as Indiana Jones unknowingly approaches what appears to be a valuable treasure. Oh no! It was a trap, and now a gigantic ball with spikes is going to engulf him. So much for the young Balloon Jones. Can you imagine if the movie finished this way? Thanks for watching our inventions made out of household items today. Follow my channel if you'd like to learn more about making simple yet incredible inventions. Also, click on the link to see more videos about my amazing inventions. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial.